It is Scott Photography Bonsai. Today we're taking a look at the Sigma 56mm f1.4 lens for the EF-M system. I want to thank B&H Photo Video for helping me out a little bit with the price of the lens. So I have a link in the description that you can check out their website for the lens. Let's get started. Been looking for something decently telephoto that's higher quality. I had bought the 85 EF lens. It's good in some situations, but I was having issues with autofocus. Hopefully this will do well, and that'll kind of complete my set of things for the EF-M system for the moment. The lens has a 9-bladed aperture. I'm going to do a quick look at the aperture itself through the range. So of course it goes to f1.4 on the large end and f16 on the small end for the aperture. Minimum focus distance is 19.7 inches, that is from the sensor. Considering what type of lens this is, minimum focus distance isn't super close, but we'll see what we can get out of it. Filter size of 55mm. I do have the 11 to 22mm lens for the EF-M system. That's the same filter size, so if you have that lens and you do use filters for that, you can use them on this lens as well. The maximum magnification of the lens is 1 to 7.4, so you can't get super 1-to-1 ratio or anything like that. I've used a few Sigma lenses over the years, and some of them were older used and I couldn't get any support with them, so I was curious. I actually had another commenter ask me about this in a previous video about Sigma lenses. I did get a response from Sigma USA about their support. All future firmware updates will use the camera body to install. There will not be a in-mount dock. Some of Sigma's lenses have a special dock to update firmware. So in this case, it'll be going directly through the camera if there are firmware updates. All lenses are supported with firmware and repairs for 7 years after they are discontinued. That is pretty nice. This lens is very new in their lineup, so I can assume that it'll be out for quite a while and then tack on 7 years to that. Not too bad. I'm already getting a handle of the autofocus with the M5. I thought it'd be interesting to try the M5 first, just because it's probably not used as much as the M50, which is more popular. Let's go over the 56mm build and design. The lens does not shift when focusing at all. Compared to the 32mm lens, the inner barrel shifts in and out when focusing. The same for the 22mm lens in the EF-M system. But with this lens, it's all internal. I really like that way of design for lenses in autofocus. This is my preferred, basically, type of lens in general. So I really like the Sigma for that. And the Sigma has a rubber grip material around the focusing ring. With the other EF-M lenses directly from Canon, it's more of a machined finish on there, which I actually prefer. Some of them are plastic and some of them are metal. You can see behind the focus ring there is a metal material, an area where it has that silver C and some text that's fixed, so you have a nice large grip area from the back of the lens. There is a good amount of area on the lens to grip it when you're putting it on or taking it off the camera. It does have a metal bayonet mount, very nice, looks high quality, well machined. Around the front element of the lens there's more text. It's really nice how they did the lettering that's embedded in there, or I think it's maybe just a different texture of the same material, so the text isn't super noticeable on the front. I like how they did that design. Canon has a type of design philosophy for the EF-M system so far. We'll see how they go moving forward, but all the lenses that I have directly from Canon for the EF-M mount are all the same diameter. Now with the Sigma, it's actually wider on the focusing ring area of the lens. So what that means is when you put the lens on the camera and you put the camera flat on a surface, it's going to bump up from the lens because the lens is actually larger, comes down below the actual camera itself. Just something to consider when you're using quick release plates or anything of that nature. Of course, any adapted lens on the EF-M cameras will be the same situation. I have the 50mm EF lens adapted and it juts down about as much or actually a little bit more than the Sigma. Another physical feature that actually is not included in this, there's no water resistance. They actually say on the included paper that you don't want to get it wet. Looking at the bayonet mount, you can see there is no type of ring, seal, or anything of that nature. Nice thing about the Sigma, it came with a hood. With the Canon lenses, they don't include hoods. It's not super large. It connects to the camera smoothly. You can do it frontwards or back to the lens itself if you're trying to travel with it. This works very nicely. I don't see any issues at all. I did quite a few autofocus tests with the Sigma and the 50mm EF lens to just compare them, get an idea of focus speed. Here's a test of center point photo autofocus with all the combinations. Here are the tests of video autofocus with all the combinations. So far, I'm happy with the Sigma 56mm autofocus. Seems pretty quick, especially in some situations. I think it's not as picky compared to the AF50 combination that's adapted, so that's a very good thing. We'll have to see in the future as I use it more and more. I don't use lens caps usually, but this one has a nice little feature of it's got little ridges on the inside, so when you're putting it in with the hood on the lens, it's much easier to lock into place because you can hold it from those ones on the inside instead of the outside ones. That's pretty nice. I'm very much looking forward to taking photos of people with this lens, which is the main reason I picked this up for the cosplay photos that I do. But in general, so far so good with it. Look forward to future videos on it or get more time with it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video on the Sigma 56mm lens. Got for every bonsai. If you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot. Likes and shares help out a lot as well. Thanks again. Also, thanks to B&H Photo. Please do check out the link in the description if you are curious about the lens. Thanks.